Hello Internet and welcome back to Rail Survival, a space engineer series where I'm beginning to break things both in and out of reality. So, without going into too much potential, I guess, immersion breaking detail, I just had to, how do you, I don't know how to not break immersion. I just had to reset the, world a bit. I was doing some fiddling, just building this sort of ramp, and I was originally building it along. And what happened, the catwalk coming off of this was close enough to this that the entire subgrid shifted to merge, which I've shown happen on previous spots. Anyway, that sort of shift it did, well, at this end, basically this whole subgrid shifted forward, meaning there was no longer a gap in between these rails, which means this switch would not work. So, yeah, I had to, unfortunately, there are two ways to fix that. One would be rebuild this entire structure, and two is just reload to before you made the mistake that made that happen. There are, again, we're not doing things as the game intends necessarily, and that comes with some inherent risk of, well, things not working as you want. Yeah, I think that works. So I can now climb up to each of these and manually connect them. Which I guess I should make sure to switch back to loading once they're empty. Now,
Energy critical.
let's go ahead and park up here. We will send this back to magnesium, which means we need to make sure all our switches are good. So we're currently from that yard. It'll go out. That switch is set that way. Yeah, that should be good. Actually, what I think I want to do is have some button panels around the place. So this I can use to detach all of those. Which means I need to make sure they're labeled, which they're not. I don't think I can set up things here where I could, like, tell that it's tell that the connector is connected and change the image when it's not. That would be cool, but technically these guys should light up. Oh, that's something I was meant to do and haven't. I want to have things to light these up when, well, stuff happens. Let's do that real quick. So, switchboard light, switch light cobalt, switch light, this guy. Oh boy. There's a lot. At this point, 90% of the challenge of this is remembering what stuff is named, sorting through the names, and not getting mistaken because two things are named very similar but not quite the same. It's all one big mess. At least I don't have to do actual wiring. In an unrelated real-world project, I've done some of that recently, and oh boy, that combining the fiddliness of what goes where with the fiddliness of, oh crud, I snipped too close and now half the copper is gone from this wire. I do enjoy doing it all digitally. Uh-oh. The bugs are back. Oh boy. I don't love not knowing where they are. This is a new guy. And it sounded... Oh, yep, they are in the tower. Or were. Oh, you're still alive. Dang it. Yeah, I really think I need to invest in a door. Oh boy. Okay. This is confusing. So unloading 1 is what I've labeled yard 4 down there. That should be fine. Switch 1 should be unloading 4. Yard 2 should be unloading 3. I hope this is the correct order. So, unfortunately, unloading 1 won't turn on because it's already connected, so the change is when things happen. But we should be able to see now. I should be able to send magnesium on its way. And eventually, it will connect at the other end and the light will light up. I should probably watch it and just make sure that the old stopping thing actually works this time. So, unlock connector 1. Railcar unlocks and begins its journey. Well, it's doing that. Let's go ahead. Oh. The whole reason I did this was so... take a blueprint. Delete that one. So I wanted a blueprint of all the changes. I actually could have done that while it was connected with Control-Shift-B, and that probably would have been smarter. Though that may do weird stuff with the subgrids attached to it. There are no subgrids attached to it. It's one truck. I've made a mistake, but it should be fine. My only issue is as it welds, it's sort of triggered in forward. Which actually isn't bad. Because it just means when I attach it to the track and let it go, it will just start taking off. Though that's really not... That's not super ideal. Because the sprue will still be on it. Also, I need to add the sprue back on. Okay, we're going to... Actually... We're going to restock ourselves with stuff. Real quick. Maybe do 1 or 2 little things around here, and I'm just going to follow it and get a blueprint when it's at the other end. Because it should be fine to blueprint once it's connected with a connector. I don't know how that's going to work. Maybe I just work with what I've got. I'm overthinking this. We can figure it out, and I can make a second blueprint later. Projector on. Change the blueprint for Ore Railcar 2. And then just... Actually, I enjoy a button panel. So let's have a button panel. There we go. Piston up, down. I'll have a reverse, and then I'll have a reverse for the in and out. And then that velocity looks good. That should be good. So, what I need to do is get some of that. Get some steel. And set this up such that I can actually print it and attach it to the track. Which, looking at it, no. Sorry, I'm just reminding myself how this works. I need to have the attachment go to these upper wheels, because those need to print first. Height-wise looks good. I will make these sort of vibrant get rid of me pink. So that can be printed. Ow. If I drop this back down, I should be able to start the welders and actually produce this. Then once it's sort of in existence, I will trigger its stop command, put it on the track, and then I should be able to blueprint it again and have it sort of be set up as I need for printing. And also keep track. As long as the ore car is moving away, I know it's still moving. And moving away it is. So that's good. It might freak out a little bit because I think it's gonna... Yep. It's gonna try and push that into the ground, but that is fine. Because now we print. Dang. And it was not able to add the wheels, because when it welded it, it was inside the grid. The side wheels should get added, but I'll have to add the driving wheels. Okay. Oh. Just barely got to the connectors. But yeah. I think everything is built. I can check by looking at this guy. Yep. 145 out of 145 blocks. Build complete. So, I just add our wheels. Get these placed manual-like. And it doesn't seem to be trying to drive, which is good. Ow.
Health
Right.
critical.
Welders. Welders off. Oh, and that doesn't heal me. Let's hope I don't trip and die on my way in the door. So I want to trigger TB stop. And see it is now sleeping. We'll just work backwards from where we are. So this is the ore car iron. The other one I think I need to change to Orcar Mag. It's going to be at that for a while. And I think I will... What happens if I do heavy rust? Oh, they look horrible. Let's not do that. Just do a sort of rusty orange for the container on this one. I like the idea of the... I think I talked about this previously. If all the cargo containers are the color of the ore they will carry. Though I need to not do this yet because I need to blueprint this guy. So now we push it forward. This should line up onto the track. I can disconnect the merge block and then blueprint the whole thing. Check in. Oh yeah. Still mild. Can I... There we go. Little light on the situation. I could probably disconnect it now, but I'll let the piston go. Honestly, I should just make sure the piston stops at the right length. Which it doesn't. Have it stop at 7. Alright. Piston retract. We'll wait for the weird ghost to leave, and then we can blueprint this as our proper blueprint. Actually, we can do that now. Then delete the old ones. We've got Orcar. We should be able to just change out the blueprint. And then readjust everything for some reason. So now I can set this guy up. Call it iron. Okay, our rail car is going down the slope. Will it see the thing and stop? Yes. Okay. That part's a little silly. I think the train is just in the detection range, but I may need to adjust that detection range forward just a smidge. Yep, and then it slowly comes in, locks, and because it's set to load, it should be slowly filling up. Let's go ahead. Get that guy going. And it should be good if I just trigger backwards. We can set in on its way and then let's set the signals first. Because I don't want it fall. Oh no. I have signals. Signals stop things. I can just send this guy and then in my own sweet time tell it to move forward. In fact, that'll be fun to test. I am gonna, just so it's light out, I'm gonna take a nap real quick first. Trigger reverse. Now the only issue is currently, if the track is set to magnesium, this will also go to magnesium. But I have plenty of time to change that. Trigger reverse, and off it goes. Honestly, I have plenty of time to go up to the tower and change the signal over there. But I want to see it stop. I want to verify that this whole system kind of works. Alright, it's coming up on the signal. It sees it and stops. Oh, and also, look at that. Magnesium is there, so the magnesium light is lit. Alright. Rotate switch to angle for the yard. Saw it go there. Signal is now up. And off goes the train. This is so fun. I've basically automated myself out of needing to be here, but I'm so happy about it. Okay. Let's go set magnesium switch. Or, well, yes, but it's the switch for the iron, which I believe is that guy. Yeah. Alright. So that will go to pick up iron. Let's real quick. I want to do the setup on the magnesium car now that I kind of have that protocol in place. And I want to check and make, well, there are a few things over here. Set the back extent. Yeah, back extent to 1 should be safe. Because it detects way back here. Slides in. I think that'll keep it from doing the weird twitching. This becomes ore car mag. And go lighter blue. Magnesium. Now, okay, that's emptied. I'm low on fuel, which is bad. Okay. I think I manually turned that off and never turned it on, so now it's filling the mag train. The iron train is on its way to iron. Let's print off another one. And just real quick, have some spinning lights. Okay, event controller should be set up. So, the lights are obviously on now. I turn that on. Turn it off, the lights go off. So now I know that I will cook myself. But, let's go ahead, get printing. Oh, and look at that. Some of the wheels placed this time. It's a delayed production just slightly. So, this guy is silver. Did I see one of the sensors isn't done? That could be that we didn't have enough detector components when it was being printed. It could also be that the up-down speed is a little too quick. Can I... Ha! Come on, give me that. There we go. We'll really slow it down. 0.05. That should at least... I noticed even earlier that everything was moving a little quicker than I kind of wanted it to. Or car. Check in. Hey, we're here. Iron ore is thumping. I can't check the cargo, but nothing is broken. So I would call that good. So, do I make it actually silver? I already have, so I guess that's what it is. Alright. Ore car silver should be set and ready. Oh, real quick. Yeah, sensors exist. That's good. Let's go ahead and set this guy on its way. And send it to silver. This is exciting. Just check our fuel inventory. Okay, iron is an issue. So, I've got some jetpack juice. We have our extra iron car. How full of iron is this? It's almost half, and I really kind of want... I do want to run these full, because as we saw earlier, when they're at half full, you have to manually balance them, and that kind of defeats the purpose of me, you know, sending rail cars out and doing all this automagically. Let's sit and watch from our observation platform for a minute. I think I don't want to build another car while I'm waiting on materials, because if I don't have enough materials to fully produce it, then, you know, it won't get built. We run into issues like we had there with that sensor. These guys are slow. I am really debating. It would get tricky, but I could probably set up like secondary signals. I'd have to figure out some solution, but have basically a yard signal that tells it to slow down once it's close to things, and then let it go full tilt when we're out and about. How would I go about that? I think the easiest way, truthfully, would be a sensor underneath that tells it to slow down, because the signals are above and to the side. It would be... I don't think I would be able to do things precise enough to make a system work where I could have two things above it. But if it came over, like say the closest pylon, to the yard, it goes over a little stick that says, hey, cool it. It does suck that I'm having this idea after I've already built 2 extra rail cars. I mean, honestly, I think it would work. I don't think I'm going to worry about it. Truth be told, you know, time is a big commodity. But once the things are running, it's not all that big of a commodity. And as we're seeing with the iron, actually I should be over here. Since I'm over here already, I might as well watch this dock. But yeah. Ugh. That switch is still weird. But yeah. These things take so long to fill up. I don't think speed over the track is going to really help. There's a certain amount of waiting I'm just going to have to do. Alright. No damage. It's docked. The thumper started up again, so that means it's filling with silver. Let's see if our system is producing anything. Because I think I have it set up automatically to... I should be producing enough to get 1 car, probably 2 cars built. Yeah, we're still inching our way towards iron. Oh, and I guess part of my issue too, I didn't think about... I had, you know, a pretty decent stockpile and all that. The cars don't take a ton. These pipes, however, and all the stuff over here, even though most of it's not welded, that's where most of my material went. And because I now have the thumper sort of auto set up, I can't just go over and load up the truck like I'd been doing at the extra iron. Okay. We have... It's down to just producing some iron plate. We have tons of those. So I think I can print 1 more. Yep, I can turn that on from here. Print 1 more car. Which, this one I think is for silicon. And it probably, yep, won't be able to build any wheels, but that's fine. In fact, if I'm quick enough... Haha! I can manually add the wheels once it's time. And yeah, this is much slower, but should make sure that any, well, I mean stuff like this, everything is verified to get nice and welded. Oh, nope, there it goes. How many sensors do we build? Because maybe we don't actually build enough sensors. Yeah, so that's pretty heavily drained a lot of my stocks. Oh yeah, I only produced 10 detector components. Though it says I have 8. Yeah. How many does a sensor use? I wouldn't have thought it was more than 4. Oh, Well, that's large grid. No, it uses 6. Okay. Let us change that. I would like 30. Yeah, 30, please. I probably won't get them, but should be good. Oh, and you know what? While I'm waiting on metal, I can do some farming. Ah, the thump of the ice generator. I do think I should probably be checking these things periodically, but yeah, so there's 10k ice. I've got a lot of ice in storage. That means I am good. I could probably...
Meteor storm inbound.
I mean, I don't use hydrogen enough that I really need to worry about more hydrogen production. I guess I could slap a few more generators there just to fill that tank up. I do wish there was some automatic way to plant crops, but in the absence of that, the ability to just kind of slide along and do it, it's awkward, but it does kind of, it does work. Now, what I was thinking about, let's get our sensor components here. Maybe, so that's all panels. Let's see if I can put one here. So my thought, obviously in fact, since I'm over here and have been, we'll give ourselves a reprieve. I can have this guy set to detect me. If I just kind of... Oh, yeah. Look at that. That's a massive radius. So I can have this sensor just here, and whenever I enter this area, it turns off the ice thumper. Because I'm not over here very often, so it shouldn't cause an issue. I can fine-tune this a little bit. I probably could have put it better in the middle. So, when it texts me, ice drill off. When I leave, ice drill on. Yeah. So it's still thumping. Whenever I enter the area, it turns off. Turns on again when I leave. That's perfect. We will know it's worked because the thumping stops. So I don't need it to beep. That means I can now come over here and farm in peace. Without having to worry about the fact that, well, my farm has become dry because I turned off the ice drill and forgot about it. Ow, right. Painful, painful. Alright. So we got the ore car for silicon, which can remain white because silicon is whitish. Remove the sprue. So, right, so that's silicon. So I need to switch that guy so that we're going straight through. Branch to silicon. And I just need 3 more. how is... I could check this from up there. Okay. Production needs iron and silicon, or nickel we're low on. Let's see if I can produce one more car and send it to the nickel mine. Nickel's actually gonna be...
Energy low.
Nickel's trickier because I have to have it reverse at some point on the track. I've not actually thought through how that works. So this is the nickel line, and it more or less stays in this configuration unless I need the welding train, which I don't think I'll ever need again. So I need some way... I need an intermediate signal here that I manually deploy for the nickel train. Which I should be able to do. If I stick it here, that should work for both directions. Because I could potentially have a train coming along this side and the nickel train. They need to not, you know, collide into each other. Ooh. Let's move it one over. Maybe two over. Yeah, just one. Part of the issue is the distance of detection. I think that's as middle as I can get, which means it's as good as I can get. Okay. Get rid of those guys. So... we'll call this manual yard hold. Because it's sort of the... It's a manual switch to tell each train... to tell whatever train shows up to stop here before whatever it has to do to get to the rail yard. So if I now stick up here a button, I can reverse it. But maybe I should control it up here. So it occurs right in there. Remembering how I controlled the buttons on the other guy. If I have a little LCD here, then I can have some explanation as to what this means. Hold on. Crap. I may need a brake thing here, because it has crashed into the thing and broken its connector. I just happened to look and realized silicon was still showing up, even though it should have gotten to its thing by now. Get rid of this. So the manual hold LCD is set up now. So, if I reverse that, so currently it's correct because the signal is down. If I press that, sign goes out, signal, fill up our tanks and head that way, but the signal should be up. And it is. So I can put that down manually when I need to stop trains before the yard for whatever reason, which is good. And then I need to set up a way to manually reverse. And I should be able to. Each car has an action relay built in, so I should be able to use that to make it happen. Also, I wasn't watching, but this track is a bit of a downhill slope. I think that's what happened, is because of the slope, the car was able to kind of get away. So I think I'll put a, similar to the sort of brake signal over there, I'll put one of those in. Okay, I think that is good. So, trigger reverse. Yep, it locked. It is loading up with silicon. That's good. Is this... Oh, yep, that bumper's going. And we'll have to see. I may need to put these sensors on more... on, like, all the distant ones. Because if the, if just a little slope is enough to make the thing crash and blow up a connector, that's kind of an issue. Hopefully this will be good. I don't know how quick it was going. So yeah, and same as the other one. It'll lower now as soon as the train starts moving. It's in the range, so it'll be detected. Thing goes up. Train should be able to travel through unimpeded. On the way back, it will tell it to stop for a second and then accelerate, which hopefully calms any damaging speeds. Ow. What's my production held up on? We're looking alright. Let's produce one more and this will be our nickel. I will have with this action relay nickel car reverse and just because it seems like a cute little way to do this, what is, I can't remember the atomic number of nickel, but the internet can, it is 28. So channel 28 is the signal we send or receive on. And when we receive that... Let's disconnect this thing and see how many spare timer blocks and things I have. Because to make this work with the system I have for moving, I think it's going to take some complexity. This car may be a bit of a custom job. So, the action I want is for it to trigger the opposite movement control when I send that signal. So I think I'll need an event controller. So I think the system I'm going to want for the event controller is to have the block, have it monitor if blocks are turned on and off. I have my little face guys, which already kind of send that data. Yes. Yeah, I think I can do this with 2 event controllers. And a light. Both of these guys will watch toggled on and off things. So what the action relay will do, will trigger this timer block. Let's do the things as I say them. So, flip timer block. Actually, it'll do two things. It'll start the timer block, and it'll turn on the flip light. The timer block, it'll have a delay of 3 seconds, and it will turn off the flip light. What this means is when I send the signal, this light will turn on and then eventually turn off. That light turning on is a signal for things to happen. So, my event controllers, they are watching blocks turned on and off. One of the blocks they will watch is our flip light. They will both watch the flip light. They will also watch the emotion controller for their specific direction. I'm going to use the AND gate because the AND gate means both of these have to be true for the action to occur. So because they are watching the flip light, when the flip light turns on, that will cause these event controllers to do something based on which emotion controller is also on. And this should work. I also want this button. No, I shouldn't trigger stop because it should always be stopped already at a thing, but being stopped doesn't change which direction controller is on. That only changes when I flip direction. So flip forward. If I'm moving forward and my nickel flip light comes on, I want to trigger reverse. When I'm going in reverse and my flip light comes on, I want to trigger forward. And that should work. So let's go ahead. Send it down the track. It has gotten night again. We'll go ahead and manually drop the hold signal. So the nickel car should eventually get over there and hold. Now, do I have an action relay anywhere? I don't know if I do. No, I think they're all subgrids. So, we'll place our action relay up there. And now we have a use for this button. This button sends a signal on our main action relay on channel 28. Just to get our eyes on it. Yep, so our nickel car is held. You can see the emotion controller for reverse is currently on. For forward is off. Our light is still on, which is wrong. Turn that light off. So when I press the button up here in the control tower, we should start to see the antenna signal coming back at us. Let's actually set our track to nickel. Yep, that's right, because that is the parking sighting. Gets a little confusing I really should have had a little hoop down, but I can't really fit that. Alright. We're reversing. And it stopped. Why is out? Why has that occurred? That was about 3 seconds
Energy
after
low.
the trigger, which suggests... What actually changes that thing to be on? Hold on. So triggering the thing turns on that, turns off that. Let's try it again while we're here. Actually, I've got an idea of how to monitor this. When I send the signal, this should turn on, it should start going. There's nothing implying it shouldn't move forward, so we should be alright. So, click, go. Oh. There's some sort of feedback loop going on. Because it was all flickering. So there's something setting it to go... What is setting it to go forward when I trigger reverse? So I think part of the issue is because this signal is still down, the timer block gets triggered. What are these? Yeah, so it starts the timer block for reverse. So I should, when I trigger forward, it should turn off this sensor. Okay. Let's watch from here and see if the sensor gets turned off. So that's our action relay. Send signal. They're both flickering. Why is that? It only happens while the light is on. Am I turning something off weird? Hold on. Maybe instead of trigger now, maybe I should do start? I'm not sure why that would happen. My only thought is there's some weird stuff where like sensors are turning on and off not quite quick enough and they're detecting things before they turn off and that's throwing things. I don't know. Let's see. Action relay. Send signal. Light is on. This guy's on. A timer is going. Will we start going the other way? Yes. And it doesn't seem to be freaking out. Okay, so I think what was happening there was just a weird case of things getting triggered and detecting other things when they shouldn't. All that fun. But yeah, now the nickel train works and should go out to collect the nickel. We've got a board that is nearly lit up. How close are we? To a load of something. Okay, so these two should be the extra iron ore train. And it's pretty good. You know what, let's sleep here. And I think we're gonna go ahead and balance some cargo and send some trains off on their own. I want to get the yard full of stuff. Because I realized when I was looking at that iron, I can just... So... yeah. If I drop 7k in, that's pretty even. Oh. I need buttons to actually send cars out from the other end. And then... we've got juice. Just want to make sure. I'm pretty sure that connector is the one I need. Whoop. Well, that was the wrong button.
Low health.
No, we haven't done that in a while. So I have my 7 ores. I can check on here, so if the light is on, it means something is connected. If I press the button, it will disconnect. So, let's see. Set our signals, turn off our yard hold. Send things into the yard. Actually, I'm gonna do something fun. Unlock our extra iron. We can see the iron car, the antenna's on and it's moving. So, silver, we can do... That's AG. Silver is on its way. It will stop at its signal. So maybe we open up the switch and let it go. Then we can also do silicon. We can see their lights are out. I'll have to do that switch to bring them in. But we now have multiple trains moving along, coming to bring us ores. Ah, that's exciting. I'm not going to be able to do what I kind of wanted, which was a screenshot of like multiple cars coming into the yard all at once. But still, it's kind of exciting. And I can actually conveniently see from here. So silver has passed its switch. So we can go ahead and switch that for the iron. And look at the iron car's flying. It's actually maybe going too fast. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Again, I wonder if maybe that's uphill a little bit and it's so heavy. That is going to be a concern, is when they're heavy, they're heavy. And will that cause any issues? Let's go out and watch this from our big majestic curve viewing spot. Because iron, yeah. Iron is screaming up behind silver here. Silver, you're losing the race. Okay, iron... it may be slowing down, but we may actually see our first case of a train stopping behind another train for traffic. Which is weird to get excited about, but I'm excited. Look at this. Oh, iron coming into the curve. Silver only halfway through the curve. Silicon in the distance is peeking over the hill. And the dust is coming in. Let's, hold on. Just This is too exciting. Take some Claritin. Or non-brand allergy medicine. Okay. The curve seems to have slowed iron down. So I don't think they're going to see each other. I do need to get back. Back to keep them from going, you know, both on the same line. Yep, we are set correctly. I do kind of want to see, though. I think I've got time. Will silicon... Oh, no, the silicon doesn't stop until way down here. Oh, it's cooking, though. Hold on, will this be an issue? Oh. Didn't look healthy. Oh, but look at this. Hold on. Ah, I missed it, but... Trains, passing trains. Will silicon stop, or is it going to careen off the edge? Okay. That's a problem. That's going to be a real issue. But we've got a train in the yard. Okay, we'll have to deal with that. Silicon needs another braking thing, or I may need to slow these down further. I need to... Right. Switch that over so that iron goes to yard 2. Unfortunately, I don't think silicon is going to be coming, and that blew up a bunch of stuff. Okay. I think there are some issues I'm going to need to work out. But we've got trains moving along, bringing us cargo. I do wonder... I might set up either at every station I need a braking signal. Actually, let's stop being in the thing. Let's see if this one... Iron's one of the heaviest. Will it explode? No, because it detected that. Why did this one... Everything going on here is confusing to me. I've clearly got some issues to work out, but we've got trains moving, mostly. And I can always make more trains to replace the ones that have just broken. I think it'll be easier to repair them. Either way, I think that's where I'm going to call it for today. So thank you everybody so much for watching. Feel free to check out the other stuff I've done, and until next week, bye-bye.